Okay, behind the scenes, I'm about to record a cocktail video, believe it or not. We have a glassware, we have fruit, bitters, knife, a chopping board of sorts, and we've got whiskey. God help us. Roll credits, or titles, or whatever you want to call it. I'm nervous. Here we go. And we're back for another video of the 12 days of whiskey. Nearly burst into song there. It is the festive season. There's musical numbers on the TV. It's in the cinemas. No happening in here. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Now, welcome back to the Black Lodge for another evening. Can't always be out and about, but I'll tell you what was on my mind. I had my ramblings yesterday. So that's technically, I don't know if this is a Black Lodge ramblings video or not, but my ramble yesterday was about don't be a snob and welcome new people in. What it wasn't, just to clarify, wasn't me having a go at people that kind of hold whiskey makers to account about non-chill filtration and natural gum and that. It wasn't that. We have our space. We can talk about all that. That's not what I was doing. It was basically saying, how can we bring new people in? And I had some messages about it, and I've had some great comments already, and I've thought about it, and I thought, well, how do we bring new people in? And it's Christmas time. What better way to bring people in than cocktails? Whiskey cocktails! Aye, I know. But I did make the point yesterday about, in America, that they will find you a serve that suits you. And I thought, you know what, I'll take that on board. And so I've came up with a couple of concoctions. I've looked up some concoctions. And then I looked to my shelf and I discovered that I had a bottle that I'd picked up that I probably should have drank a long time ago. I picked this up in the summer. It's 38.8%, so it should be okay. And it's the Pina Colada from Good Spirits Company in Glasgow. And what it is it's a Good Spirits Company and Ardnamurchan in collaboration. Ardnamurchan AD single malt, coconut oil, washed lunar rum, pineapple cube infused, Scotch Americano. And I thought, well, what better excuse to open it than do a video? And as you can see, I'm kitted out. I've got a bloody apron on to make this happen. Excuse to open this, I'm going to try it. The nice thing is, because we're a week away from Christmas, opening it, I know I can get it drunk. I've got my annual Christmas day out on Friday this week, which I'm going to try and record some content at, so that should make for interesting viewing. Now, that knife's no cutting it. Let's see, got a real nice. If this was Roddy at the Good Spirits Company that did this, well done on the wax, but it's a pain in the backside. There we go. Nice wee pineapple on top. I don't know if you can see that. Wee pineapple on top. Get that wax seal off. Everything's better with a wax seal. More people should do it. Smells pineapple-y. What kind of glass will we use? Should we go fancy? Should we go for the wee... Oh, I don't know. I've got this Thompson Brothers glass and it's so delicate. Aye, let's do it. Now, it's meant to be a bit of ice and stuff. I don't have any ice with me right now. So all these cocktails, if you want to add ice, please do. I believe you're meant to serve it with ice, stir it to dilute, but very pineapple-y. Very pineapple-y. Well, that would be great with ice, but I don't have ice. However, you can pick them up. I don't have to sell them online, but you can pick them up in store if you're in Glasgow. I'm not, I'm in London, but I've had that for a while. Maybe poured myself a wee bit too much, but it's lovely. Very coconutty, the coconut oil. It's like a bounty. Pineapple cubes in the nose and then like a dark chocolate bounty on the finish. You know, you get the box of Celebrations chocolates, which for anybody in the States, it's just a candy box that we get at Christmas time. And the Bounties are always left. A lot of people don't like the Bounties. I think if they changed it from the milk chocolate Bounties to the red chocolate, dark chocolate Bounties, they'd explode. But maybe that's just a wee secret amongst us Bounty aficionados. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. Anyway, I have a wild range of cocktails that I've tried to kind of just make as simple as possible, because I was thinking what might people have at home during this festive period. Sorry, that cocktail's just sitting right there. And some of these are a bit rogue. You can dabble, you can make your recipe your own. Some of them are classics, and I thought we'll just take it nice and easy as we go, and we'll build up to some monstrosities that should, by all accounts, taste good. You're going to get to watch me taste them firsthand. I have not prepped any of this. I've got everything prepped to do. I have not tested it out. I'm using nothing but taste theory in my head to do this, so please bear with me. What are we going for first? Well, I thought, well, let's go for something that was infamous amongst people, but at the same time actually works and is fine. And I don't know why they don't embrace it more, because I think it's really funny. And that is, I'm going to pick the glass for this. I'm going to use like an old-fashioned glass, right? Because I can imagine a bar in Edinburgh or somewhere using an old-fashioned glass. And we're going to go for the Smokey Cokey. For the Smokey Cokey, we need a bottle of Coke. You can see I've not prepped. Fresh bottle of Coke. And you need a peated whiskey. But the whiskey that pushed this was Lagavulin. I've not got the 16, I've got the 8 here. Which kind of made me go, oh, you really need the 16. Because that's where it kind of got pushed. The big push a few years ago was the Smokey Cokey, was the Lagavulin 16 and Coke. And people, the outcry can be heard echoing through time. But I do have the Cadenhead's Enigma 16. I feel like I can hear the future echoing through time, me pulling that out. So I have my Coke, I have my Cadenhead's 16. Coke's opened. Bottle's opened. We're not going to go big on the measure here, because I don't have much left. We are going to go wee cheeky 20 ml in the glass, and then we're going to go Coca-Cola to taste. Let's see. On the nose it smells like Coca-Cola. You know what? They weren't wrong. That's alright. That's actually okay. It's bear in mind, this is 55%. Your Lagavulin would be what, maybe 48, 47, 48%. It's a wee bit stronger. You get the Lagavulin, you get kind of smokiness, a wee bit of fruit, and you get the Coke. But if you're sitting by a fire at Christmas time, that would be a treat. That's a wee treat. If you want to get somebody into whiskey and try and like get their palate going, you could do that. I bet you would win some over. Would I be pouring these myself at Christmas? I think we know the answer to that, but I'm going to do this marks out of 10. I would rate the Smokey Cokey on the whiskey cocktail scale. I'd give it a solid 7. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. I did full fat Coke. I wonder if, I don't know if I'd use diet or zero. I don't need that sweetness, that sugariness. But aye, bit of ice in that. You could sit, enjoy it. Very different to a bourbon and Coke, a Jack and Coke or anything like that. Very different. I think the quality of Maybe the Lagavulin makes a difference there. I do wonder what it'd be like with a peated sherry. Why not? This is not planned. Let me see if I can find a peated sherry. Whopping 60.1%. Let's find a glass. We'll see. This is obviously stronger. Yeah. Much heavier on the palate. Much heavier on the palate. Now I can't imagine people will have a 60.1% Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, single cask bottle of Glasgow kicking about or anything like that. But I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Like, would I prefer the lager? Probably. I would say I'd probably prefer the Lagavulin over a sherried peated. Keep that in mind. I probably wouldn't use a little Lafroig in there. I think you need a fruity, and probably not a Kilchoman. I think you need a fruity, peaty, and I think Lagavulin lands that perfectly. So if you want to do something different, maybe do it with the 8. Why not? Try it with the 8. I've only got a tiny bit of Coke left, so I'll do a tiny little pour. Coke. Lager. Coke. Things I do in the name of Christmas. Aye, it's fine. It's fine with 8. The quality of the whiskey makes a big difference. I think that this outranks the 3 that I just tried there. I'm not doing this for everyone. I'm not going to mix and match. But I do think that the Smokey Cokey, solid 7. So add it to your list. Get that in there. Christmas special. Get your non-believers involved. Could probably add a wee bit of lime in there. A wee bit of lime. If I got a wee stirrer, I'll get a wee stirrer here. Oh aye. Oh, there you go, that's an 8. 8 out of 10. Smokey Cokey, squeeze a lime. Banging. Well done. Was that Colin? Is Colin Dunn that invented that? Maybe? Let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure it was. Fantastic. I enjoyed that. Great kick-off. I can hear you screaming. Don't worry. If you're a Scotch enthusiast, drink it neat. Do what you want. If you want to get involved, please play along. It's fun. Now next up, we're going easy. So yesterday, we spoke about snobbery. We did the gift set. We got Singleton glasses. We got Singleton. And I thought, well, what could you mix it with? You could do Coke. You could do lemonade. Whatever, that's a bit boring. I thought maybe some pineapple juice. We'll see. Bit of Singleton and a bit of pineapple juice. We'll get the measurement. I'm just going to eyeball this, but let's just see. It is 20ml. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's about probably a bit more than 20ml into it. Fine, big glass. And then shake, shake, shake. Bit of pineapple juice. Some ice. Wee garnish. You know what? Let's do a wee garnish. I've got these. I've got the cherries. Got some cocktail sticks. Let's get a cherry out. Now you need to imagine all these. I've got ice in them. We'll fling a cherry in there. And where's a wee stirrer? Stir, 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 stir. And let's get that cherry juice. Boom. Let's see. Very pineapple-y. That's really nice. I don't know if maybe I've OD'd on the pineapple juice. So in the interest of science, that's just lovely. That works really well. It's only 40%. There's a really nice texture to that. I think I said that in the video yesterday. The Singleton has a nice mouthfeel. It rounds it up. The pineapple juice is lovely. You've got your cherry in there. Probably shouldn't have took it off the stick. I'm never going to get it back, am I? Oop. That's another 8 out of 10. Smashing it. That is delicious. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. 8 out of 10. Well done, Singleton. Well done, Luxardo cherries. Well done, Morrison's pineapple juice. Everybody's a winner. So if you get your gift set, your 2 glasses, you want to get somebody into whiskey, there you go. There's a very simple cocktail. I don't know what we're going to call it. In the comments, tell me what you'd call it. Probably a monstrosity or a travesty, but you know what? We don't judge. We do not judge. So next up, we're going to go for a bit of a classic, which is one that I know that Roddy, who I think is responsible for these concoctions, or is involved in them anyway, on Aquavita's live V-pubs. Now, I reference Aquavita's V-pubs a lot in that. If you're watching me, surely you're watching those, or you should be watching those. Roy, guests, commenters, the barflies, you learn like a ton of stuff on there. Get watching it. Trust me, that's my Christmas present to you if you're not. And if you are, then yeah, I know, I'm preaching to the converted. But Roddy loves a Rob Roy. And a Rob Roy is like a Manhattan cocktail, which is traditionally made with like a rye and vermouth. But a Rob Roy is whiskey and vermouth and a bit of bitters, and that's it. So I thought, you know what, we need to do the same. We absolutely need to do it. And so I've got this great vermouth, Roja, my Spanish is impeccable, that I got when I was in Mallorca. If you go to Mallorca, like kind of like Barcelona coast, I think that's Costa Brava, maybe, and Mallorca, vermouth is making a huge comeback. The vermoutheries, you have it. I never knew how to drink it. It was a friend of mine. He's married to a half Spanish person, girl who is, her family's originally from Tarragona, and he got into it, meeting her family and stuff, and basically you just have it with ice and a slice of orange, neat, and it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's basically like an all-day drinker. You can just sit there all day, a little bit of that, just sipping it in the sun, and it's fantastic. The old dears have it before church on a Sunday, which I find really funny. So I've got that. So I'm going to use this for the Rob Roy, because all it is like 25 mils of this, 50 mils of whiskey, and some of the Angostura bitters. And then we've got a nice glass. I'm going to use my Bardstown glass I got in Kentucky. And therefore, because I was in Kentucky, I'm going to use the new Springbank Cask Strength, unopened. I'm going to crack this opened, and we're going to make a Rob Roy with it. Because as I learned in the Cadden Heads Enigma, the better quality the whiskey, the better the cocktail. So, up. There we go. Now that's going to be a wee bit smoky. Give me a second while I wash this. Back. Right, so again, it's maybe 25ml, so I'm going to do 20. This has got a wee 20ml line on it, so forgive me. Probably start with, we'll start with the whiskey. I don't know if there's an order to this, but we'll start with the whiskey. 20ml in the glass. Then we are going to do 50ml of the vermouth. I've been dying to open this, and again, it's coming to the festive season. This is a great drink at Christmas time. If you've not had red vermouth, please do try it. It's fantastic. You can get a few brands over here. It's a bit more expensive here than it should be, but Brexit, you know. There we go. So I'm just going to double up the measurement of this. 1, 2, and again, these are meant to be over ice. A couple of dashes of bitters. Low rates like 1, 2, 3. It's quite chilly in here, so everything is quite chilled. I've never had a Rob Roy before. It's boozy, tell you that. Again, over ice, you could sit with that for a long time. Really enjoy that. That works really well. Now, I don't know if that's because of the vermouth I'm using. I don't know if it's because of the whiskey I'm using, but you know, there's no reason not to, and there's no reason not to. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. So I would give that, that's a Boxing night. The day after Christmas Day in the UK is called Boxing Day. Boxing night, sent me a couple of those with your nearest and dearest, decompressing after the stress of the Christmas madness, maybe watching Match of the Day. Again, I know I'm making these, but that's an 8 out of 10. Maybe even an 8.5. That is, there's so much texture to it. There's so much texture. Now, I'm talking to the whiskey community there. If you're new and you're watching this and you're trying to figure out how to make some whiskey cocktails, I do apologise for the long-windedness of it. Any whiskey you use to make that will be a nice cocktail. It's a classic cocktail for a reason. Don't use smoky whiskey. I don't think, maybe a smoky Rob Roy would work. I think maybe stay clear again of like a Lafroig, anything TCP, smokiness might make it a bit medicinal. But the internet's your friend, you can always Google recipes. But don't be afraid, give it a shot. That makes me want to go and buy some ice to make that the finished article. I'm going to be really disappointed because I'm going to do some nice B-roll of all these glasses and they're all going to look so crap because there's no ice. It's a garnish as well as doing a job. Rob Roy, 8.5. Smokey Cokey with some lime, 8. The singleton and just pineapple juice with a cherry in it, 8. So far so good. These are going great guns. Now next up, I've decided, I had to pause my phone. I was trying to do multiple angles. There's too much going on. I have a bottle of whiskey that's sat in this bar for far too long, and the reason it's sat in the bar is because there's nowhere to put it. And so I figured, you know what, again, a reason to open it. It's getting taken out on Friday, so apologies to the people I take it out with and we enjoy it. Not apologies, it's a good whiskey. However, I'm going to use it for this cocktail. I had the idea, that singleton and pineapple went great. Couldn't come up with a name for it. But I've came up for a name for this one, and I'm going to call it the Agadoo. If you need to know what Agadoo is, look it up. It's how it sounds. We're going to use that pineapple juice again. We're going to use some lime. We're going to use imaginary ice. And we are going to make a delicious cocktail with the Macallan, A Night on Earth in Scotland, the original release that you can't put anywhere because of this stupid box, which is beautiful and impractical in equal measure. You can open it up, it's lovely to open, and then it has this lovely flip up, and then, oh, there we go. Who knows, there's a very good chance that you would have been gifted. There's a good chance you'll get gifted at some point if you're into whiskey, a Macallan or whatever. So I figured this is great box design, but just so impractical. So I figured that this would be, why not? It's only 40%. If you're gifting Macallan, this one's quite unique because apparently it tastes like shortbread, cinnamon and orange. And I thought with some pineapple, boom, you're on the beach. It's a tropical Christmas. So I've had this bottle since this was launched. And I remember posting pictures of it on Instagram and getting abuse. Open your bottles, open your bottles. Well, I'm opening the bottle. We're doing it. Don't even know how. It's a really nice on the back of this. I never even looked. There's a wee like hologram to like confirm it is Macallan. A lot of effort into it. I don't even know how the fuck. Yeah, just twist it. Just twist it. For all that. You know what? Back in. We listen and we don't judge. Going back to a single glass. We're going 20 mils. We're doubling up. 40 mils. And then we are going to do, you know what, I'm going to put the cherry in first. I'm going to put 2 cherries in because it's the Agadoo. Let's put 2 cherries into this. Give it some artistic merit. Look at that. It's like I meant it. Two cherries that look like something else in the glass. There we go. Some fresh pineapple juice. Well, as fresh as we make it. There we go. That's enough. Get a wee star. What we saying? A wee bit of lime. Try it before the lime. Aye, you're right. You know what? You can taste the shortbread. That's not bad. That's actually alright. Again, pineapple juice just makes everything better than it should be. That's not the worst thing I've ever drank. A wee bit of lime in that. Probably should stir. Bit of ice, give it a shake, froth it up. On the nose, right? So I've never tried, like, that bottle's been sitting there for a long time. So let's just quickly, bit of diligence on this. I get more out of this from the whiskey than I do from the actual whiskey, which is really strange. If you know why that would be, let me know. It's really thin. It's really thin. So what I think's happening here is, I think the pineapple juice is giving it a bit more texture, but it's opening up that Macallan, and the tasting notes are like that shortbread and cinnamon are then coming through the pineapple, and it's smelling like that. It smells like shortbread. It smells Christmassy. The cherries are in there. The cherries aren't doing anything in terms of the smell. Maybe a little bit, but that on its own, right? You can. I'm not going to say anything, but this. Boom. Again, so far. I just discovered the secret ingredient of cocktails, you know. Who knew? French martinis, eh? It's like, you could do like a French martini with the Macallan. You really could. You could do Chambord, pineapple juice and that Macallan. That's going to be for Instagram. We'll do that on Instagram. I'm going to be controversial. I would say whiskey wise, I'm not going to score it because I try and stay away from that. Cocktail wise, again. Right, so I've got 2. Very different on the nose. This is much lighter. It doesn't. I wonder if the 2 cherries make a difference. This is much thicker now. Probably the 2 cherries make a difference, but this does have like a baked goods crumbliness to it, whereas this one still has a lightness and a little bit more honey. So more honeyedness. This is more Christmassy, Christmas cookie, shortbready, New Year. It's a shame they never put on the front of that box. Should just maybe say add pineapple juice. It's fantastic with that. I'm gonna rate that. I keep getting. I've scored everything too high, haven't I? I'm gonna give that an 8.5 out of 10. That and that together works really well. I think if you get a Macallan that is a gift, like brand name, original bottling Macallan, and it's not 25 years old or something like that, but you just get a normal Macallan, you look it up and you're like, what does you try it, oh, it's maybe a wee bit thin, or maybe it's not for your palate. Whack some pineapple juice in it, a couple of cherries, you know, you got yourself a stew. Everybody's loving it. That's another 8.5. God, man. Cocktail King. Need to cleanse the palate. So I've got ginger beer. Ginger beer. Everybody, Christmas time, a lot of people have ginger beer, so I went out, I got I've never had this, the Fentimans. Normally I get the old Jamaica, but I thought I'll get the Fentimans bottle, purely because I can pour it better than I can. And Jameson's had a bit of a boom recently, in the UK especially. They've went after football fans, which for the longest time, alcohol brands kind of avoided football. And I could never understand it, because people drink and go to the football. Same way that people drink and go to rugby, people drink and go to American football, people drink and go to sport, right? And Jameson saw the potential, but maybe the marketing budget wasn't enough, maybe the partnership budget, but they went for Football League. And they went in on the English Football League, which is huge. They went there, and the big push, and Jameson's made such an effort to push this for maybe probably the last 8 years. I would say I've seen Jameson push Jameson ginger beer and lime, or it could be Jameson ginger ale and lime. But I've seen them push it, and they brought out cans of it, and they really and they've pushed it towards football fan as well. Because sometimes, like maybe on the beers all day, kind of cut off point on the beers, and you go, right, what am I going to move on to? And you can move on to a Jameson ginger beer and lime. I don't have any Jameson, so I'm going to have to use the next best thing in a Jameson, and that's what I've got. So I need to open this box. I need to get into it. Put it in there. I've got the Middleton, very rare, 2024. So maybe you're gifted this at Christmas. Merry Christmas. Should have kept the wooden box, Middleton. If you don't know, Middleton is Jameson, in that Jameson is made at Middleton Distillery. This is bottle number 32,081. And apparently the master distiller hand selects and skillfully blends only the finest and rarest whiskies available to create each annual vintage. Now that scale, I don't know the math. I've not looked it up. It's a lot of whiskey, but it's Irish whiskey. The Middleton Open, And we're going to try it with the Fentimans and with the... Oh. There we go. Proper opening. I keep it in sight. So there's no smoke and mirrors. Now I used the glass that I was going to use to do that. We'll use an old-fashioned glass. And we'll do 40ml. 40ml? I think 40ml is fair. 40ml of your Jameson. Then you're just going to get a big pour of that in you. And then let's see, lime. And I will drop it in. There we go. And it tastes like ginger beer and lime, to be honest. Probably shouldn't have dropped that lime in. Let's take the lime out. That's very fiery ginger beer. Up in before pouring, we did that. That's fine. What would I say about that? It goes well, but the ginger beer's so overpowering that maybe, just maybe, I can see why they would use cheap alcohol for it. Because it would mask a lot of the deficits. You know what we're going to do? Off script. There we go. Green spot. This is... I realised that as I poured that I had green spot. This is what happens when you're trying to do these 12 videos in 12 days. And I'll have people in the comments being like, you're just in there. No, genuinely. A, I wanted an excuse to open the Middleton. And B, don't have a B, just forgot. There we go. Glass. There we go. Same glass. We'll do. You'll probably likely maybe get the green spot more than the Middleton. We'll do 40 of that. Good. Then we'll do the same. Ginger beer. What a faff this cocktail game is. No wonder we just drink straight whiskey. Telling you. Bit of lime. Give it a stir. I'm stirring that Middleton one. I didn't realise I remember. Okay, I'm going to shatter illusions here. They both taste like ginger beer and lime. It's a very clever tactic. It's an American tactic. That's exactly what it is. It is, try this, you'll like it. If you like ginger beer and lime, try it with this, you'll like it. You try it. Oh, I really like that. Buy a bottle. I can't really taste the whiskey at all in either of those. So I don't really know how to judge it. It's going to be as good as your ginger beer is. If you like ginger beer, it's a knockout because you're drinking ginger beer. If you don't like ginger beer, then you're going to hate it. I don't think the quality of the whiskey is going to make any difference in it. I think the ginger beer is so like rough and in your face that with the lime, I'm going to score it 7, 6.5, 7, 6.5. I'm going 6.5. Nah, not for me. I like a ginger beer. I love a Moscow Mule, whatever. That just doesn't, that's not kicking it for me. I don't think the alcohol's strong enough to cut through and really deliver what you want in a cocktail. But I know it's probably not seen as a cocktail. And I've opened 2 bottles of Irish whiskey that This Friday, they're in for a treat with some of these drams they're going to be getting. I'm telling you. The beauty is there's more lime in the Middleton one, so I'm going to drink. I'll try the Middleton one. We'll do the B-roll with that. Next up, really simple one. You've got your, maybe you've been gifted a bottle of Jack Daniels, maybe you've been gifted a bottle of Bullet, maybe you've been gifted a bottle of Buffalo Trace or whatever. You think to yourself, right, what am I going to have this with? How about Coca-Cola? You've probably got Coca-Cola at home, but we can add a wee bit of lime to it, maybe a cherry, fling a cherry in there. You seen a theme here? We can make it happen. So we need, again, I'm using all these glasses, get an old-fashioned glass. Now you're probably asking yourself, why are you not using an old-fashioned? Why are you not doing an old-fashioned? Sugar syrup, muddling orange. I've got orange, actually. Maybe, do we put a slice of orange in this? What do we think? I don't know if orange works as well with Coke. So I'm gonna just, we'll do lime. But the reason I'm not doing old-fashioned is because you've got to do the sugar syrup, you've got to prep that and do that. I'm trying to think of stuff that's just quick, off the shelf if somebody's doing it. So Irish whiskey, ginger beer, lime, or ginger ale and lime, fine. Maybe ginger ale probably works better with that, because ginger beer is really fiery. Do you have Angostura bitters? Again, maybe not. But everything should be accessible. That's what I'm trying to do. Something that's just off the shelf. We're going to do a double bourbon and Coke. And so what I'm going to do for the double bourbon and Coke is I need some bourbon. So we've got this. Oh. Rip Van Winkle 10. So we're going in with like something a wee bit different. We'll do 20 ml of that. And then, but Rip's only, what, 53.5%. So we want to give the texture. So I've got this Stag that is 63.8. Do we double of that? Boom. That's going to give it a bit of meatiness, a bit of texture. They're both from the same location, both Buffalo Trace. So same but different. And then we get a glass bottle of Coke. Delicious. And then we've got a lime. Got a lime in there. Wee stir. If you want, you can garnish it, you can do it. There you go. Got yourself a cocktail. Probably. A lot of lime. Delicious. Vanilla, toffee, cherry. You got that lime in there, you got the Coke, the sweetness. Like, fuck. That's a 9.5. That is delicious. Quality matters when it comes to cocktails, and you go to find cocktail bars, not like this one. They always insist on that, and I think there was a documentary I seen years ago about malt whiskey, and about they went to, I think it's Mylan Bar now, that's on the South Bank in London, in the Sea Containers Hotel, and they were using these super fine malts, and they were like, why are you doing this to this super fine whiskey? And they were like, because the quality is so much better, therefore the experience is better in the glass. And aye, that's delicious. Now you can use any two bourbons you like. You could even use the same bourbon and double it up, add some Coke, add a bit of lime. You can legitimise your whiskey and Coke. Whiskey with an E. 9.5 so far. Absolutely outstanding cocktail. We're coming up to the last one of the evening, and I figured again we'd just go something really simple. Now I mentioned the ginger beer. That ginger beer is quite fiery. Ventimans. Maybe I've made a terrible mistake, so maybe it's other ginger beer. I was making Moscow Mules August, summertime, ran out of vodka and found a bottle of Glenfiddich 12, added that, a bit of lime, and it was unbelievable, really tropical, really fruity. I think that if you find a Speyside or maybe a Highland that's quite fruity in profile, you could replicate that. I don't have any Glenfiddich 12, fortunately. So I'm going to use Thompson Brothers Tesco blend. It's not a Tesco blend, it's North Highland blended malt, 8 years old. Fancy glass. We'll do 40ml of this. Then we need the ginger beer. I'm going to measure it this time. That's 20, 40, 60, 90, 100. 100 mils of ginger beer. Americans, I don't know what ounces and mils are. Google. And then we need some lime. I ran out, I used that. Luckily I have fresh lime. We stir. There's so much more than the Irish. It's more tropical in the nose. And by tropical I mean it's like yellow fruit. The yellow fruit comes through. The ginger beer, the harshness is dulled right down. Can you dull that down on the Irish whiskey? And this isn't a hate against Irish whiskey. I love Irish whiskey. But it just shows you the profile and the way that the whiskey works. Wow. That's it's a summer drink. So let's say it is, we're at Christmas, we're doing Christmas cocktails. You get given this, start of the day. Get rid of your Bucks Fizz. See, Drinkswhisky said, instead of Bucks Fizz, I'm going to make you these. Do ginger beer, lime. Get yourself, there's still time, get yourself, jump on Amazon, jump to your local whiskey shop. Try and find, make sure they've got this, get some of that. Got none of that, get to your local shop, get some Glenfiddich 12, fling it in. You've got to like ginger beer, still tastes like ginger beer, don't get me wrong. There's still ginger beer in there. It's so much lighter, so much fruitier than the Irish one. It works so much better. I am quite shocked at how well that works. I'm going to give that solid 8.5. Touching 9. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 9 is because Bucks Fizz is still orangey and it's no burny. You don't get the fire from the ginger beer. But aye, that's lovely. Mixologist here, you know. Why go to these big fancy bars and pay tons when you could just stay at home and make yourself cocktails using no ice, pineapple juice, lime, some cherries, some Coca-Cola. I'm going to show you the aftermath of this. This is ridiculous. The winner of my own cocktail experience, I think the bourbon, the double bourbon and Coke, we're saying, what, 9.5? Unbelievable. We're going in. We're going to elevate it. There's so much, there's cherry in there already, that's bizarre. That's bizarre, man. Boom, be cherry in there anyway. The flavour profile, it's like cherry cola. Brilliant. Unbelievable. Still 9.5. I do think the Rob Roy, with some ice in that, oh, it's so thick. So it's like the syrup from that in whiskey form. That's delicious. That's a very different drink. I'm going to upgrade that. That's 9.5 as well. Yeah, brilliant. I've really enjoyed myself doing this, if you can't tell. What I will say, the whole point of me doing this is to demystify and kind of break down some barriers about what you can and can't do with whiskey. As I said the other day, people will shout online, open your bottles, and then you might do something like this with it and they'll tell you you're wrong. Do what you want, it's your bottle, enjoy it how you like. I'm going to enjoy these whiskies either way. But if you're not into it neat, get into it this way. Find an avenue, experiment, enjoy it. I've had a great time. It's really funny. Because I now have to somehow work out how I'm going to make these glasses look good in the B-roll that you're about to watch, or have watched. And I need to edit all this and try and get it live in the next hour and a half. I'm on tight deadlines, guys. Doing it for you. Hope you appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm sure you're going to comment. I'd love you to comment on some of this stuff, because I've made some terrible mistakes with some of these bottles. Because I've just done that green spot. I appreciate you watching. I hope you're enjoying it. Christmas is coming. All the best. Cheers. Right, Mon, I'll show you what this looks like. Ready for this absolute chaos? Never even opened the Guinness.